Hello friends, it's your favorite neighborhood nerd Simone, and I had so much fun swatching these inks, these ink bottles that my friend Amy did not enjoy any longer. See what I did here? That I decided I'm just gonna keep going and swatch the Inkvent calendar. No, that is wrong. The Colorvent calendar from Colorverse in the same way. There is obviously 24 inks, and I'm just probably going to go from top to bottom and swatch them like this so that I can just put, I'm gonna put day, whatever, and then write the name of the ink. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing as I did here. Maybe a little bigger because there's less ink bottles here than there were there. If, obviously this is from 2024, it is already June of 2025. You might have seen this already. The only additional thing is that you get my weird commentary on what I like and what I don't like about these inks, and maybe you want to play this video. Maybe I can put, is this too much, taking off too much light? Maybe I can, where can I put this so that I can reach the inks easily? Maybe like this. I'm not going to put them back, but I want to know the name and the day of the ink. So yeah, maybe you can put it in the background and journal along with me, or do an inky mess. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know that you could have so much fun with this. Also going to talk a little bit about my supplies, which are these three tools. I have a swizzle stick that my friend Wendy Sue from Fountain Pen News sent over in December, and I've been liking it or reaching for it more and more. Then I have a glass of water that's already a little colored. I have a water brush so that I can pull out some of the ink and see if there is some multi-shading inks in there. I need some kind of thing to put my sweaty hands, and then I'm using this Iro Utsushi because I feel like it gives me the best moonlit veil, a representation of how this would be, how this would look in a fountain pen nib. Oh my goodness, is there still some weird color on there? So do we need to start over? Do we need to run this to Mordor? Let's just take some ink from here. This is really dry too. What the heck is going on here? Okay, hello. There's water here, so now, yeah. Let's pull some of this out. So disregard this blue stuff right here. How do we like this so far? It's kind of, well, what do we think? What do we think about this? I know that, so let me tell you about Amy's observation. She opened this, I think, after December. So maybe, or did she do it while? She said she didn't enjoy the inks at all, which is, Colorverse is something, so I'm like interpreting her ink taste, but I think that Colorverse inks are not something that she was, you know, she didn't jump on this Colorvent calendar without knowing about Colorverse inks. And so I am just wondering what might have happened here. Kind of flat. That's my first impression. And maybe if all of those inks are kind of flat, I would understand, because that is, there's so many inks out there that can be so interesting. Like, look at this. Even if I know that she got rid of most of these inks because they were too light in fountain pens, but look at this. Look at, there's pink and orange and coral. There is this happening right here with the blues and the purples and the muddy swampy things that are happening over here. There's this beautiful blue shimmer on this ink. Even with those super sheening inks, there's something interesting there. So I'm not sure, that maybe all of these inks are kind of flat. So next is day 21, Giant Sunspot. But I am judging this by the first ink that I'm swatching. So how many inks? 6 across. So we will see what is happening here. This one I really like. This is very dark, moody. I would even call it a blood orange, maybe. Day 21, Giant Sunspot. I like how the writing looks, for sure. Let's try and see if this was watercolors, I'd probably say that all of the inks that I swatched, the bottles that she gave me and that I swatched on the other paper that I pulled over twice already, are falling apart into pigments. And I just had the word for it and now I'm missing it. That seems to be something that I've been doing lately. I know the word, and the second I want to say it, it's gone. Day 10, Aquarius Whispers. Wah! There are some glistening, is what they call them, shimmer inks in this set, but this is the third ink and I have not come across one yet. This one is nice. It reminds me of one of the inks that I always love these types of inks. I cannot get enough of them. Day 10, Aquarius Whispers. Max is sleeping in the background. Can hear his breathing. This is the first ink where I have the feeling that this is falling apart into different colors. I don't know if you see what I see, but it's layered. It's more interesting than these two. This one is nice too. I really like this. These definitely are two colors that are in my wheelhouse. Aquarius Whispers. Then day 14 is Pulsar Pulse, and I think this is one of those inks that was made into bottles. So I guess I'm not able to put 6 inks next to each other if I'm keeping them this big. Maybe I need to do it a little smaller. At first I thought I was going too much, but I guess I should not. Yeah, maybe flat and chroma shading inks. Maybe that's the thing that is day 14. So I would love to know if you had the Inkvent, the Colorvent. Oh my gosh, I cannot. I would love to know if you enjoyed it, if it was to your liking, what you thought of it. If you're doing it again this year, I think there's another one coming out. Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. What was good about it? What was missing? Day 2, Edge of the Night. So right now, I think that's a thought that I started earlier and didn't finish. To me, this is yesterday. I filmed that video yesterday. Yesterday, I swatched those inks and I really liked most of them. However, I looked at them from the eye of, do I want to play with these on paper? This, by the way, is Kansen XL mixed media paper, day 2. This feels dry, Edge of the Night. And by swatching on here, I wouldn't have guessed that it's so light. So this is interesting to me. But when I'm looking at these inks, I feel like I don't really have to judge if I want to use them on for playing. These I am judging, do I want these and add them to my ink collection in order to put them into fountain pens, because I don't see, you know, the multi-dimension that I've seen in these. And she pulls it out again. How often will I do this? You should take a shot every time I do. So that's the first thing that I am noticing, is that when I swatched this collection, I pulled maybe 3 of them into my, I want to use these, and put them into pens. And most of them, all of these ones right up here, I put into my drawer for playing with inks, which I find very interesting. I was super inspired by them. I wanted to go buy more sketchbooks in order to be able to dedicate a page to an ink. And that is not what is happening with this. That's interesting. This is day 11, Da Vinci Glow. But so I have swatched 5 inks so far. So we will see how this is going to progress from here on out, for sure. Day 11. This is super light. I can see like there's a yellow. Maybe you can see this. When they're dry, I'm gonna pull them closer so that you can get a feel. But when I put this down, there is this, where the first drop was put down, there's this yellowy undertone. This is drying really nicely, but also there's very little tension happening here. There's a little bit of blue edge right here. Nothing much going on with these in the beginning. So I'm not going to put them back in. So, and this is NGC 2264. Doesn't look like there is any shimmer in this one either. This looks interesting. I think this also is the only green in this calendar. So when she gave it to me and she told me that she wasn't really inspired by this, and she doesn't want any of these inks in her collection, I started to go into analytics mode. So I'm trying, that's why I'm talking about this so much. It's like, what is missing? Why is she not excited about this? And the first thing that I thought, there's no green in here, which is not necessarily true. That this green here is in there. I don't, if you want to call this a green, then there's green too, but there's not a lot of these murky swamp colors, or I haven't encountered them yet. But again, with this one, I don't see it fall apart into different colors. We'll see when it's dry. Interesting. Day 9 is Red Horizon. So I wonder if this is the only swampy green that is in there. Red Horizon. And this, what did I say? Is this day 9? Yes. This is definitely a nice red. Like if I were forced to put a red ink into a fountain pen, this could be one that I would put in there. I am definitely not someone that enjoys red inks this bright in a pen a lot. I'd usually go rather for a burnt darker orange than red, but this one is really nice. But again, this is the only one so far that is kind of chromo shading, but this one not really, this one also not really. That is also something that you have to pull off to get colors to be just their own dye, and that's it. That's really interesting. Oh, the first color that is a shimmering ink. So this is day 7 and this is called Rover. Oh, I'm going to have so much space at the bottom. So I'm just wondering, I'm not, you know, I wasn't able to squeeze 6 here, but also I only have to squeeze 4 on here and I'm already on row 1. So I guess I can give myself a little bit more space. Day 7, Rover. So let's pull this one out. This looks like a dark, warm gray to me. And there seems to be silver shimmer on top. We will see that shimmer better when it's dry. Okay, then we have day 13. Neptune orientation, occultation. I'm also noticing, so this one says, Neptune occultation is a color inspired by the phenomenon of Neptune being occulted by other celestial bodies. But, okay, nice, interesting information, but what does that even mean? Like, why is it then this color? So if you're giving me an explanation why the color is inspired, you need to tell me why. Like, because Neptune is associated with a dark blue purple or something, you know? Or this is usually dark. Neptune occultation. Because this is an explanation that either only makes sense to those people who are really very closely in tune with what is happening on the sky. This looks like those old school stamp inks. You know what I mean? When you had those stamp pads and then they would stamp with this really dark blue. There is, why is there no water? There we have a watery spot right here. This one, even though it's so dark, is one that I think I like. There's some pink on the bottom right here. I did not expect that I would go and fall for this one, but I am. Wow, interesting. Day 13, Neptune occultation. Next is day 12. This is Sunbeam. Okay, so this one, for instance, now says Sunbeam captures the warmth and vibrancy of the moment when the sun's light hits the earth. Okay, this is something that I could now follow myself. Oh, this is also I would consider this a swamp color. This is a dirty yellow, almost chartreusey yellow. Day 12, Sunbeam. I wonder what these two would look like if you mix them up. Would it even do anything? But that is where my brain goes right now. Yeah, see the green. Yeah, this is a color that I would consider. It reminds me a little bit of Shinkaichi Gold from Kobe. It's kind of like the swamp color that I have in my stash. Okay, next one is day 4. Another gray, light gray, no shimmer. Sailing stones is a color inspired by the phenomenon of sailing stones, rocks that seem to move on their own. Again, like, okay, so what does that mean? What is the color of things in space? Do I know? This is a reddish gray brown, I would say. Day 4. Oh my gosh, too light. Day 4. Sailing stones. So is this inspired by the color of rocks on Earth? Or is this is there even color in space? Someone did not feel comfortable and had to move around a bit to make it better. But yeah, there is pink, reddish brownish, but this is what the writing looks like. Can you even see that? Yes, you can. Okay. It's probably also not an ink that I would want to keep in my collection. Day 5, Rosette Nebula. It's interesting that all of these reds are right below each other. So we can actually compare them better when they're so close to each other. Day 5. This one feels like more of a crimson red, a cool red, and this is a warm red. Yeah, it's a little light. It's like, I like this one a lot, actually. So this is one that I would consider keeping, or at least comparing my ink bottles to this and seeing if it's one that should be added or not. This one is kind of too light, in my opinion. It's like the swatch is really lovely. The writing, not so much. This is, okay, I don't know. Maybe this is the day. Morning Glow is a color inspired by the moment when the morning dawns and the sky is bathed in a beautiful light. Let's see if it lives up to the expectation. I feel like I've seen this color on here before, but probably not. But it's very close and very similar to what we've seen already. Like the Moonlit Veil is more blue leaning. This is more pink leaning. Day 18. Morning Glow. But also, do we need, yeah, I mean, there's people who go for each other one of them. Do we need all of them? Probably not. There's pink. You can see here the pink. Where was the blue? Right here, Da Vinci Glow. You know what it reminds me of? The Da Vinci Glow, Wearing Wool Lost. And I also have the Don't Trust a Bivalve by Mike from Independence. That feels very reminiscent of that. But if I'm putting this dot right here, would you be able to distinguish where this ink starts and this ink ends, besides the fact that it's shimmer? In the writing, yes, there is definitely a distinction between this is illegible, this is legible. It's super similar to Moonlit Veil. This leans blue, this leans red, but the tone, the brightness, and the saturation is basically the same. Okay, then I think Brian Nichols was Maria from Maria Russo's favorite, maybe, possibly, could be, maybe also not. I feel like I'm leaning out of my, I'm not sure. I watched her Colorvent swatching thing. Day 15. Well, this is fabulous. I totally get why Nichols. This is totally up my alley. I love this. I love how dark it is on here, even though the writing is not. I'm currently really into all of these teals, blue greens. Just wanted to put a dot right here to see like how it, if it's falling apart into colors. It doesn't seem like it. As I said before, it seems like all of these are just one color, not a ton of them. So day 24 is the Christmas Star. And I think this is a glistening ink. It seems, or it reminds me of when I saw it on video and on swatches of other people. It's a star spattered hill, but no. This one is more orange, but it's lovely. It's definitely a keeper for Pilot Parallels, even if it means that I have to use my Pilot Parallels more. Day 24. I do have a Pilot Parallel inked with a Star Spattered Hill. It's been inked since the beginning of the year, so I don't know how, how much it darkened, but I will definitely put a swatch of this right here. so we can just see what it looks like. I mean, the only thing that is speaking for it is that it's in this purple one. This is A Star Spattered Hill by Wearingool. And I'm just going to pull out the color here as well. This looks more ochre and this looks more orange, but they're both beautiful. And they're both different enough to keep both. Day 20 is a white something. No, not a white hole. What did I say? Day 20. Oh, okay. Basically, this ink just... Where's this blue coming from? Ugh. What the heck? That's not cool. I swatched so many crusted Day 20. Can you see it? I can't. Day 20. White hole. No, without an H, a W, I mean. White hole. So how are we going to get this right? So I opened so many sheening inks where there was crusted stuff around. And all of those chunks fell down, and I thought I had taken care of them, but obviously I haven't, because this is now contaminated. Let's see what happens if we... I mean, there is definitely... So where are these coming from? There's definitely blue in this. Okay, so I think I did it. I got rid of them all, and there's nothing crusted in here. This might be an ink that could be cool on a paper, on watercolor. You know what? Let me just quickly. Okay, let's move this up a little. This is a Marman sketchbook. I just want to see what this looks like when it's on a different type of paper. I should have just used the top half of it so that I could put one of those lighter other gray inks against it. But I really love making circles, just in case you were wondering. But there's not a lot of... Why is there no water coming out of this brush? There we go. So see what I mean when I say that these are just... It sounds weird, but they're so basic. Where's the fun color here? So it could be really fun if you were doing something like Inky Messes to get some kind of, background and then go on top of this with darker colors. That could be something that could work. I think I'm just going to leave it like this and then let it dry and see if I feel inspired to do anything else with it at a later time. I feel like I need another circle up here for this one. Maybe I can move beyond the circles at one point, but I'm really in love with circles right now. And I love how big the circles are that this water brush makes. Okay, tangent over. We can continue with the swatching of the thing. Day 20. Day 8 is Blue Moon. This is not a glistening ink either. This looks like a very medium blue. Cool leaning, like more yellow than red. Day 8. Blue Moon. And if I'm not mistaken, then Maria did not only swatch these, but in her first 30 inks, 30 days for the year, so that was probably April, I think she inked a pen with all of these inks. So if you're curious what these inks look like in different pens, check out her YouTube channel and look at it. But again, not a lot of chromo shading happening with this one either. I feel very repetitive in what I'm seeing. This Neptune occultation looks like what I would love, what I would have loved Lamy Violet Blackberry to be. This is day 1, Super Giant, and there is yet another red that is just following along in this line. This is another orange leaning red for sure. So this is blue leaning, this is also orange, but very, very red. This is brighter. No, I still need this. There's still blue on this dip nib. Okay, day 1. Super Giant. I know it's written together. This is very red. This looks like a strawberry red to me. I don't see color. Like, there is some chromo shading happening here. We will point out the chromo shaders even if they're super light later when it's all dry. But this is so surprising to me, totally. But actually, I really like this red as well. So there's 3 out of 4 of these reddish colors that I like, which is not normally happening, but this one is so bright. I like that. I'm also very aware that I'm usually drawn to lots of blues, but these ones, these 2 are the ones that this one is a sheening ink. So if this was, I'm trying to get day 22 out of the box, just in case you were wondering why I'm slowing down. Portuguese Meteor. The Portuguese Meteor is a color inspired by a meteor that streaked across the Portuguese sky in 2024. And why is it this color? Because that's what it looked like? Or I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry I'm dissing this calendar so much, or it feels like I'm dissing it so much, but also, am I wrong? If I'm not into the sky stuff like Colorverse is, then give me more of the explanation. If you're giving me one, I need, I don't want to go and Google about this Portuguese meteor and stuff like that. So what does it mean when the color is inspired by this? Because the name, and that's what we associated with the name, or is this the photos that were taken and that's the color they looked? That's what I want. So the blues are not really up my alley, which I find very interesting, because usually most of the blues are my thing. This one is, however, this is a minty blue, minty green, whatever you want to categorize it as. And this one is really lovely. I do like this. Day 22 Portuguese. But, oh, okay, wow. The writing is very light. It reminds me of Pannonia Patina. So there's also no color. Well, there could be some yellow. I'm not sure. Underneath here, let's see. Doesn't seem like it to me. No. I do really love the swatch for this. It might work in a pen, but also not. So we will see. Day 6, Kilonova. Now I'm curious. Kilonova is a color inspired by the intense explosion that occurs when two neutron stars merge. And that is what this color looks like. I hope so. Here's another of those ink pad inks. Day 6. Kilonova. Okay. What is the difference between these two? Is there one? Do you know of one? I'm confused. This looks like exactly the same color. Maybe it's not a sheening ink? Where's Neptune? Did I put this on here? Neptune occultation. They look like almost the exact same color even on here. This one is a tiny bit lighter than this one. So maybe that's what this is supposed to be. Should do a Kilonova Neptune occultation showdown. This is Eclipse Silence from day 16. Looks like a brown, maybe a purple brown. Or that's at least what I'm gathering from the thing here. What is that? The label. Day 16. You know what it reminds me of? Just the writing. The ink vent where day 1 was Seize the Night. It was this weird, it doesn't smell like it though. It was this weird purple, brownish, muddy ink. No, this is kind of, what is this? Is this a black? Is this a dark gray? Yeah, I don't see it. To me, it looks, well, the label doesn't say black to me, but maybe I'm just, maybe I'm just not in the know. What is this supposed to be black? Well, day 16. Eclipse silence is a color that captures the darkness and silence of the moment when the moon completely covers the sun, temporarily blocking out the sun's light. Well, then this is supposed to be black. To me, it looks like a very, very, very dark gray, actually. This is a tiny bit darker. This doesn't fall apart into the different colors as much as this one does. There's purple here. That is not prominent here. So I have 2 left that we can put down here. This is day 23, Dante's Cosmetology. No. Okay, Dante's Cosmology. Yeah, totally not cutting this one out. Another blue grayish. This one leans more purple, and you can see that my swatches are getting bigger and bigger because I have space. Day, what was this? 23. Dante's Cosmology. Why is the writing always so mute, even though the swatch seems to be less mute to me? I did not think I would like this color as much as I do right now. Let's see what it looks like when it's dry. This could be a fun play ink, even though it doesn't seem to fall apart. And then the last one is day 19. Oh, we have another blue. Milky Way. It's a glistening ink, day 19, Milky Way. Is Milky Way just a shade lighter than Kilonova? The label suggests it might be this, but this looks more purple actually than the other ones. This has a lot more red in it, and I might like this one. Wow. Just dip it all the way in, man. Oh, okay. I just glanced over to the paper, the sketchbook that I had over there. Day 19. Milky Way. You know what this reminds me of, or the color, especially because it's a glistening ink? I hope I got some of the shimmer. Where do I pick up all of these blue things? So disregard the blue, please. Is this similar to Ferris Wheel Press Auroralis, or what was the other one? Wearingeul Persephone, or are these more darker purples? I like this one. I really do. Okay, even disregard this. So we need a big, nope, not this one, this one. Even though I know this is not an ink that was in this calendar, this is Troublemaker Abalone. Color Vent. Can you see the different colors that are coming up in here? This is what I love when I'm using inks in playtime. Okay, so I think they're all fairly dry now, so we can take a closer look. It's a good color spectrum. There is a orangey yellow, there is this green leaning swampy yellow chartreuse color, we have orange, we have reds in various shades and hues. There's this blue leaning cooler red, there's these warm reds. This one is super bright, this one is more muted. So there's a lot of that. We have a ton of blues, one, or blurpos. One, I would call this almost a blue. 1, 2, well, let's say this is a gray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe this is a gray too, blue gray, but 6 blues is a lot. We have these 2 aquas, teals. I don't know, is this a green? What kind of green would that be? Maybe I'm completely, is it Viridian? This one is lovely, and there is some shimmer right here, and the shimmer, I do love the way that Colorverse does shimmer. The shimmer always complements the colors. It doesn't take away, it adds depth. Like here there is, this seems like almost a blue shimmer. Here I like how this looks. This one is more of a silvery shimmer. This one obviously is this gold? It looks almost maybe yellow because it blends in so well. That's something that I really commend them on. I like that a lot. And I think I'm definitely going to keep these 2. Oh, this one here too. I'm sorry, I forgot. This one looks like a blue shimmer as well. And it adds to the color for sure. Like what they seem to lack in components or splitting up when added water is they add through the shimmer to those colors. It strikes me that there's only one of these olivey greens, and people really love these swampy greens. It's only one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 light gray, blue gray, brown gray colors that differ almost only maybe in saturation. Like this and this look similar, and this is just a tiny smidgen darker. This one is basically almost invisible. White hole here. I mean, okay, it's almost white. This one is a light blue or a blue gray. This one is basically the cool opposite of the morning glow. And then we have these sailing stones that could be a very, very light brown or a reddish gray or whatever you want to call this. But they're like they're not so different that you need 3 or 4 of them. And I find, maybe I'm biased, but I feel that when I'm using the 2 times that I got the Inkvent calendar from Diamine, even though some colors were very similar, I found them more nuanced. So maybe it was a gray, but then it had an interesting shimmer or a chameleon or something. And that is, or then at least it fell apart into different things and it would be interesting in the, you know, in the artsy realm. But that's not really the case here. So is there, I do think that if I wanted to add a solid color to, or a solid base of colors and branch out and try a different colors that I hadn't tried before, maybe because I didn't really want to spend money on ink bottles that are, we'll get there. But if this I find actually to be quite a good base to build upon. You get a good selection of colors, and they're 15 milliliters, so they get you quite a bit, quite far actually. 15 milliliters is a good size ink bottle. I would advocate for more smaller ink bottles, because then you can have more, because you don't have to worry about the fact that they will last you a lifetime and a half. So you would get quite a bit of color that you could put into your fountain pens. I feel all of these, I'm not sure if they're all dry, but they might be a little drier, especially the lighter inks. But there's nothing fancy about these inks that you would have to be worried about putting them into your fountain pens. And I like that aspect about this calendar. If I got this, I got a good selection of a lot of different colors, and I could use them all in pens. Do they necessarily appeal to me? No, not necessarily. But if I didn't have a whole drawer full of ink bottles already, where I've honed in on what I like and what I don't like, this is kind of a good base for that. And then you can go off from here and say, you know what, I want a similar color, but it needs to be a little darker, or I really love this Supergiant. I need to find an ink that looks like this. So yes, that is something that I really like. Now, is it a really good price per milliliter? Probably not. So let's do math. Let's get a paper. Do we have paper? Yes, we have tiny. No, we'll use this paper right here, because unfortunately I'm filming with my small calculator. So we have 15 milliliters. And there were 24 bottles of ink. So let's say there were 25, that's easier on the math. So, or we can also use 24, it's fine. 2 times 15 is 30, 4 times 15 is 60, 360 milliliters, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think it cost 160-ish bucks, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just go with this number. So we have 360 milliliters. No, how does it go? How does it work? 1 milliliters to X equals 360 milliliters to 160 USD. So then we push the X up here, the 160 up here, and then 360 down here. So that means we have to divide 160 by 360. That's what I wanted to do in the beginning, but I wasn't sure. So is she smart? No. 160 times 2 is 300 and... What is 360 divided by 2? 360 divided by 2 is 1518. So that then would mean, let's just say that this is kind of okay. Am I stupid? Yes, I have a brain fart, but I believe that my math checks out to 1 milliliter of this ink vent equals 0.5 US dollars. So 50 cents per milliliter is what you would pay for this. Now, I have done math on other things before. And for instance, if you were to buy Lamy petrol, you would pay 24 cents per milliliter for when you invested in that. The cheapest ink is always diamine, so 21 cents per milliliter is that. So you would get into a similar range of price for Pilot Hiroshi Zukio if you buy it on sale. So it's medium range. If you bought a bottle of Zukio for full price, it would cost you 64 cents per milliliter. So that is just to give you an idea if this is worth it or not. I actually thought it was more expensive. So 50 cents kind of feels like it's an okay-ish price. But you could, if you just bought a range of colors from diamine, because if the intention was to you know, round out your color selection, probably be cheaper. So I've chatted on for an hour and I am so thankful that you're still here. This is what the gray circles now look like. There definitely is a little bit of color splitting right here going on. Now, what was that ink color though? Was it white hole? I'm not sure. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I love swatching. I love talking ink. I love geeking out about this, and I'm so glad that you spent so much time with me today. Thank you so much. I will see you again in the next video. Bye.